Thank you for joining us. Sitting in for Pinky Web, I'm Ruth Cabal. The Senate and House of Representatives received their copies of the proposed Philippine Federal Constitution submitted by the Consultative Committee tasked to review the 1987 Charter. Amid criticisms that the new Constitution will pave the way for a possible term extension, President Rodrigo Duterte himself insists he does not want to stay in power. Also, how confident is the Charter Review body that its anti-dynasty provision will hurdle both houses of Congress? Let's go straight to the source of the story. CONCOM member and former Senate President Aquilino Nene Pimentel Jr. Good morning. Nice to see you again, sir.
Good morning, Ruth. Yes.
It's been a long time. Sir, you were there when the CONCOM presented the draft constitution to President Duterte, and he was saying that he actually had directives for the commission for the committee to cut short his term. Sabi niya hanggang 2019 nga lang daw, and then to bar him from running again. Ano po bang nangyari dito? Anong storya dito?
Well, actually, ang response ko sa kanya was to the effect that huwag kang mag-resign. Tapusin mo yung term mo hanggang 2022. Kung ma-approve na ang bagong saligang batas, then implement it. Ang ibig sabihin kasi may transition period po naman yun. So implement it to show that it is a good proposal.
Pero what's going to happen? Lalagyan po ba ng ganong provision barring? Because that's what the President wants. So on your part, that's just your advice.
Oh, as a matter of fact, may ban. Linagay namin talaga na hindi na siya pwede tumakbo.
But that's 2022 po.
Yes, at the end of his term.
Yes,
I mean, not only at the end of his term, but at the beginning of the new constitution, kung ma-approve na. So, in any event, Ruth, actually 2018 na tayo ngayon. So he still has roughly about 4 years or maybe 3 years and a half of actual occupation of the office. But considering nakikita ko yung mga problema ngayon sa pag-ratify ng bago to adopt a new constitution because merong mga eleksyon scheduled now. Ako, I am against postponing the elections.
General elections for May? General elections
because,
for May?
in other words, hindi yung scheduled elections under the old constitution,
yes,
which is in May.
May 2019. Opo.
Sapagkat kung i-defer mo yung mga eleksyon na yun, akalain ng mga tao, ayun pala ang dahilan.
Term extension.
Para he will perpetuate himself. Batas na din. Not at all. Linagay na nga namin dyan na hindi siya pwede tumakbo.
Pero isa rin gusto ng CONCOM is for the elections for the plebiscite before daw the May 2019.
Absolutely, because
Kaya po yun?
ang bagong saligang batas will not come into play until ratified by the people in a plebiscite. Kailangan din ng action ng tao. Now, that is why ang aking suggestion talaga na in the meantime, kailangan maintindihan ng taong bayan ano bang punot dulo nitong federalismo na ito. Because my position actually is, it is not just na gusto ni President Digong. Dapat maintindihan ng tao ano bang ikabubuti sa buhay namin yan. Sapagkat as a matter of fact, may mga Pulse Asia report ata na more than 60% ayaw.
Sir, SWS survey, 25% lang ang may alam kung anong federal form of government.
Which means that I can understand that. And therefore, the job of the government and all agencies and all people interested in pushing for the federal system is to go out and inform the people. But Ruth, number one, kung hindi tumulong ang media, wala. Because media is, pagkalat ng informasyon. You have to do it through the mass media.
So, you think Filipinos will be well informed na by the plebiscite next year, before May? Ganun po ba ang mangyayaring senaryo?
That's a big question mark.
Yes,
pero I actually in my mind, kung maaari ma-submit natin ito sa mga taong bayan, at least 1 year before the end of the president's term, that would really be good.
For a plebiscite?
For a plebiscite.
So hindi nga po siya 2019?
Palagay ko, Mahirap siguro.
Oo,
no?
mahirap po for next year. Oo. Pero tas isa rin ang sinasabi ng mga critics the Philippines is not ready for federalism. The whole country is not ready for
Well,
federalism.
probably because of ignorance. I mean, ignorance in the sense na hindi nila alam.
Hindi naiintindihan. Oo. Pero going back to my question earlier about President Duterte, balikan ko lang ulit yung si Vice President Nene ba can run if ever after
Oh yes, because
2022?
hindi naman
Oo.
pinagbabawal si Nene. Ang pinagbabawal lamang ang Pangulo dahil sa
Incumbent, oo.
obviously he is bound by that prohibition under the old and under the present constitution and in the new constitution. Sinisiguro namin na huwag masabi ng taong bayan pala nag-federalismo para ma-extend ang term.
Just to clarify, 2022, pwedeng tumakbo si Vice President Nene.
After, even
after
in the new, under the new.
As long as it's passed before, it's ratified before
That's
2022. So, ang hindi lang pwede si President Duterte.
Correct.
Ganun po ba yun?
Specifically prohibited.
Isa pa, Senator, ang sinasabi, this Federal Transition Commission is very powerful daw. Can you tell us about that?
You know, that is a very, you might say, transient observation because kung titingnan mo, within the next, let us say, 2 years transition period, mag-elect ng bagong presidente at bagong pangalan nito, Vice Presidente. Pero ang meron din po doon sa provision na ginawa namin na ang purpose ng transition in spite of all dami-daming mga powers ng transition. But the main purpose of the Transition Commission is to organize, reorganize, and implement the thrust of the new constitution according to the provisions of the new constitution. So may safeguard din. Hindi naman na bahala na sila. No, hindi po pwede.
Pero kasi meron nakalagay doon na ang power niya ay yung gagawa ng transition plan, and some critics are saying you can just put it in the constitution itself. Bakit ibibigay mo pa sa commission to do that?
Well, because something has to, I mean, somebody has to implement it. And if, as President Dico has always been saying, ayaw na niya, as a matter of fact, ayaw din niya na siya ang maging head ng transition, anong pangalan ito, commission. And therefore, to my mind, this is a good development. Pero, over and above all, Ruth, ang mensahe ko sa taong bayan, you must be there to oversee anong mangyayari. Huwag kayong in other words, bahala na lang sila doon. You know, right now, people have the right to speak out. I think they should speak out. Kung ano yung tama, support it. Kung ano mali, you say so para makorikan. Because route number 1, yung recommendations, recommendatory lang yun. And as a matter of fact, it's up to the President kung gagamitin ba niya sa zona niya, in whole or in part, for action by the Congress. In joint session, House and the, anong pangalan nito,
Senate.
the Senate, acting together pero voting separately.
Ako, isa pang masalimuot na issue yan, Senator. Oo. Pero yung sinasabi, going back to the draft po, sinasabi nyo kasi mukhang hindi kakayanin yung plebiscite next year, ano po, sa 2019. Pero ang gusto nyo ay ituloy yung general elections where we elect the new senators and the congressmen. Hindi pwede yung no-el scenario.
Oh, because that will enhance the suspicions of some people na kaya pala para ma-postpone lang ang election.
Si Speaker Alvarez wants that para daw mas matutukan nila yung pag-aaral ng draft.
Well, yun ang dahilan na sinasabi nila.
But you're not for that.
I'm not.
And again, hindi kakayanin yung plebiscite. So most likely, when do you want it sana? Basta before the end of presidency.
Before the end of the term of President. Which is 2022, so mga 2021.
Isa din sa very prominent provision, yung anti-dynasty provision ng bagong draft. But in the Bangsamoro Basic Law discussions in Congress, yung pinasa nila, baka mangyari po yun dito, matanggal.
You know, tulad ng sinabi ko earlier, recommendatory lang ito. Therefore, para hindi you might say, diluted ng mga congressmen and women and the senators, taong bayan, sisigaw. Oy, gusto namin yan. Because these are politicians. They have to go to their people for a new mandate anyway. So if they don't listen to the people, then the people should disregard them.
Why is this important, yung anti-dynasty provision?
Naku, alam mo, Ruth, under the present constitution, prohibited ang political dynasty, but it does not spell out in general lang, and what is needed is an act of
Enabling
Congress. Na, who's going to prohibit political dynasty? Sila rin ang magpasya. Kaya nga, minarapat namin na ilagay na sa ligang batas for approval by the people.
Kasi dati enabling law lang ang nakalagay,
Enabling law ang
Senator?
kailangan.
Oo. Okay, we'll talk more about that plus the other provisions of the draft code. The draft constitution, this is the source on CNN Philippines, still to come. No turning back once the country has decided to shift to a federal form of government. CONCOM member and former Senate President Aquilino, Nene Pimentel, will still be with us after the break. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, CONCOM member and former Senate President Aquilino, Nene Pimentel. So, Senator, I was asking before, si Professor Taya was also here. He's a member of the CONCOM. And kung may recommendation ba yung CONCOM, whether to do CHACHA via CONAS or Constitutional Convention?
Well, actually, Ruth, ang pinakamagaling sana, Constitutional Convention. Dahil sa participation ng tao all over. Pero, of course, magastos din yun. Bakit? Sapagkat you elect the members of the Constitutional Convention, you have to provide them with staff and a place where they can work. It's a daming mga requirements. So, mukhang advice ng mga palibot kay President Digong na better ang Constituent Assembly. Ang ibig sabihin, only the Senate and the House of Representatives will revise the Constitution, pero with the participation of the people. So yun ang second mode of revising the Constitution na minarapat ni President Digong na sundin. So that is probably what's going to happen.
Pero wala kayong ganung recommendation, ano po? Bahala mag-decide ang Congress. But if you were to be asked, ang gusto nyo sana yung constituent?
Oo, basically, dumaan din ako doon. Although at that time, pinasukan ni Marcos at nakulong pa nga kami. So anyway.
Okay, another one, sir. Meron daw provision doon sa draft saying na once na magkaroon na ng federal presidential form of government, hindi na daw makakabalik if it doesn't work. Sa old form, ganun po ba yun?
Mali yun. Because actually, ang hindi na pwedeng baguhin yung democratic at parang pro-people provisions of the Constitution, and then that we belong to one nation. In other words, yung integridad ng Pilipinas. Pero yung forma ng gobyerno, ba't naman hindi pwedeng baguhin yun?
So ano pong nakalagay sa draft?
Noon, yun na nga ang mistake doon na merong sinali nila yung phrase na the federal system. In other words, is also one of the features of the new constitution that cannot be revised. Hindi po tama yun.
So you're changing that? You're revising that?
Yes.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, yun ang purpose ko sa tapos ng interview natin ngayon. Pupunta kami sa commission and I already raised it by email now. Let us tackle this. Tanggalin na yung hindi magandang phrase.
Yung mga provisions na yun. Aside from that, sir, ano pang gusto nyong ibago?
Well, sa palagay ko, Ruth, ang importante na ang kapangyarihan ng mga tao, which incidentally, to show that this is not an elitist proposal. Nandun yung mga provision para sa mga mahirap, pro-labor, pro-fishermen, etc. Now, ang gusto ko lang sana na in the definition of our national territory, of course, ang suggestion ng karamihan sa CONCOM na yung bang may meets and bounds lang. Pero gusto ko sana isali na Scarborough atin yun.
Lalagay doon mismo? Oo.
Spratlys atin yun. Benham Rice atin. Because parang pinapatrol
You want to be that specific po?
I wanted to be that more specific. Pero sabi nila kung gawin yun, ganun kakapal ang ating.
Kasi ililista mo yung territories.
So, general principles lang.
General principles. Pero mahirap din i-define pa? Or will you include...
But by meets and bounds, that will already include Benham Rice, Spratlys, at saka anong pangalan nito, Scarborough.
Parang will you invoke kunwari yung observe yung decision in The Hague or mga ganon? Ipapalagay niyo po yun?
Plus, plus Sabah.
Okay.
Oh, of course, hindi
But
na...
that will be more, will be more specific.
Yes,
Ilalagay po yun.
kung you mention Sabah, pero by historic rights na lang yung sinasabi to include our claim over Sabah.
And then the Hague ruling, you will be specific
of
about
course,
that
of
in the
course.
new draft constitution. Okay, that's good. Isa pa lang, sir, may sinasabi rin yung mga critics naman na baka hindi na kailangan ng ganitong draft, ng ganitong federal constitution because they're saying you're the father of the local government code and they're saying you can just implement to decentralize the powers, the funds.
Ruth, alam mo, nung ginawa namin yung local government code, nilagyan ko ng provision every 5 years. That should be revisited by Congress para makita nila kung anong mali, anong tama, then expand it when necessary. Ginawa ba nila yun? Hindi ah. So that's why ang suggestion ko ngayon isubmit natin sa taong bayan para ma-expand ang kapangyarihan ng mga federal states at hindi na kailangan. For example, Rota, yung mga maliblib na mga probinsya at lugar, mag-imbita sila ng mga investors, kailangan dadaan pa sa NEDA eh. Even if they know that maganda para sa kanila, NEDA will have to affirm that or, propose it themselves, no? So, hindi maganda na concentrated pa rin yung kapangyarihan ng government because, among other things, kung ang mga investors ay hindi pumunta sa mga malalayong mga lugar, ang mga tao will tend to concentrate here in Metro Manila. Kaya congested tayo rito eh. So, but with the federalism, yung kapangyarihan na yun to invite investors and therefore provide employment for their own constituencies. You see, ang laking bagay ng kanon.
Senator, at this point, what do you want to focus on in this campaign to promote federalism? More of information campaign po ba? Consultations?
Yes. Information and consultation, meaning to say, incidentally, nagsisimula na Ruth yung mga committee namin na iikot sa iba't ibang lugar. Pero ang gusto ko sana mangyari na hindi lang sila pupunta sa mga lugar, they should listen to reaction ng mga tao.
Okay.
Pinaka-importante po yun.
Tama po yan. Thank you very much to former Senate President Nene Pimentel. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Still to come, find out the world's oldest color on today's In Focus.